a middle-aged man called Helmut.
Okay.
If there is any, or the closest one to it, from Germany, if your name is Helmut, you're in, but I'll accept Hans, Carl would be good, wouldn't it?
Alright.
Yeah.
I think, I'm wondering if the age might, maybe we could we broaden that
Okay,
out
just a German nudist bloke.
Right.
Could he at least be fat? Could I find a fat German fella? If your name's Helmut, we're gonna give you a big prize.
Yeah.
But, you know, any fat German fella who likes to get his sausage out.
Sure.
Okay?
It's sauerkraut.
Yeah.
What's the phone number?
0871 222 1049. It'd be good just to get an email or a text with a contact on it, and then I can just call them up in the week.
Sure.
And
83936 is the text number. I don't know what our audience demographic pans out like, Rick, but I'm suspecting that's probably a fairly small fraction of our listenership.
I know, but you know, there must be
German
someone out there, if you know a fat German who likes to get his tackle out, phones are going.
Straight away.
Just answer it, Carl, just answer it, just pop that.
it could be anything.
It could be a nutter.
But just say hello, just tell his nutter straight away.
He'll stay there, won't he? He'll stay there.
Well, answer it. Answer it.
Leave it.
Answer it.
Oh, you see this? It's gone. It's gone. There you go, he bottled it, so... just as well.
Well, you took too long to answer it.
There's a vicar in, Australia who's started sort of doing his services and all that in nude.
Hot, isn't it, out there?
Yeah,
Where'd
but
you get the
churches aren't. Churches are pretty cold. It was on some website.
Of course it was, yep.
Just saying about a vicar and that who's, there's a lot of nudists and that who want to get married. Do it, you know, don't mess about with the wedding dress and that, just snip up.
Cheaper, isn't it?
Well, I also suppose it's so, I suppose if you believe in God, you believe that, that's the way to be, innit? Because Adam and Eve and that.
Yeah, but then in Adam and Eve, the shame made us dress up, didn't it?
Yeah.
Eating the apple and things.
Yeah, but God didn't want that, did he?
No, he wanted to see it all. He was loving it. He was having a wear a snake to cover yourself up.
Stitched him right up.
Yeah.
So if you believe in God, which clearly I don't, do you believe in God, Carl?
Dunno, I don't really worry about it. It was ages ago, wasn't it? So, you know, if he's about, whatever. Not that bothered. Adam and Eve's pretty interesting though, isn't it?
It's not, well, how is it interesting? He made man, out of dust. Then just 'cause he could, he's having a laugh. Then he made, her out of one of his ribs, again, he'd like to vary it a little bit. Then they had 2 sons, which gave rise to the entire human race. What was going on there then?
What would have happened if they didn't get on? That's interesting.
Sometimes with pandas, they don't fancy the other one, do they? They go, well, that's my choice, one. You've brought me one panda from Lisbon Zoo, and I've got to shag that. What if I don't fancy it? What if they bring in a right slapper?
Do you think
what if it's the equivalent of, like, love? Yeah, and they're going, I am not shagging that slapper. Every panda in the world has seen that dirty old mott in magazines. Why am I meant to mate with it? I've got some dignity.
Are you talking about Adam there, or Panda? Was that...
Well,
either is fine, I suppose.
No, bad
Do you
pandas.
think that Adam had any say? When God was making Eve, was he saying, can make the boobs a bit bigger, would you? And then... I'm a blonde guy, I'm into blondes, really. I mean, I don't know, did he have any input, or was it just...
I don't know. Well, I suppose
it was one of his ribs, after
I know, but he's probably restricted. You go, well, I'm working with a rib, Adam. Give me a break, there's only so many things I can do.
Well, he's probably in kind of intensive care, wasn't he, with the whole...
They go, well, I can't just keep making the boobs and things bigger, because their legs will get short. I don't mind short legs.
Yeah, make the legs longer.
I don't mind no legs. I don't mind no legs.
As long as the boobs are sizable.
I tell you what's weird though, Steve, right? Everyone's heard of, like, Adam and Eve, yeah? What's the surname?
Yeah, where'd they get their post from? Unbelievable.
Now listen, we were trying to mop up some stuff from the last couple of shows which we haven't dealt with yet. One of which is an obsession of yours, because we're on a radio station, Ricky and I come in, we bring in CDs, music we love, it means so much to us, we adore it. You don't really care about music, you work at a radio station, it's just, you know, I don't care.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do like a good track. I don't like everything that comes out and everyone raves about.
Yeah, you thought the iPod wasn't worth it because you named the 5 tracks you'd like. What was it? It was In the Ghetto, Babushka, Living in the City. What was the other one? Killing a Georgie, and there was one other one or something. And you just only like songs with a story.
Yeah, but then there's a reason to listen to it, isn't there?
Well, no, only once.
Going on. No, because you might forget the ending. listen to it again.
Yeah, you
Anyway,
might, yeah.
you've been listening to Babushka quite a lot, is that right? Because you've really got into your head now, you're trying to decipher
Well,
the story.
when I've been sort of asking for songs with stories, people have texted in, emailed in and whatever, and I've had a couple, you know, last time we did the show. So I've gone, oh right, that sounds interesting. And Babushka, when I was away on holiday, I listened to it a few times because I like the story.
Thoughts on it though, have you?
Couple
of questions.
will we have a listen to it?
Let's have a listen to the track, and then I know you've got some queries you'd like to raise.
It's just about a woman in it who, I don't know, she's ugly or something, aged badly, and her husband gets bored with her. Have a listen, see what you think. Right.
XFM. You're listening to Magic 105.4. That was all the way back to 1979. Kate Bush, Babushka.
So, we would like your suggestions for songs which have stories in them, which may entertain Carl. They could shoot to the top of his list.
What do you think of that, Carl? That as a little story there.
I like it, but...
So she tests her husband. Yeah, she writes him letters. She gets a letter back. It's a pseudonym. Babushka's her pseudonym. It's not a real name. Her real name is Molly Strank from Ealing. And he responds. He goes, "Oh, he's terms. He's having a bit of an illicit affair behind her back because he doesn't know it's his wife." So he goes, "Oh, well, I'll take this a bit further. See how far I go." He turns up. She turns up, he gets it on with her, and he's falling for her because she's acting like she used to act, you know.
Yeah, but was he just playing along with it? Was he like,
No, it's not, because they'd have said that in the song. They don't leave it up to...
Some people do that, don't they?
But it wasn't. Kate Bush would have said, "And by the way, he's playing along." She'd have given us a clue. He's not. He's fallen for it. She went along incognito. He thought it was another woman.
But how much work can you do to yourself to... Say if like, I wrote a letter to Suzanne,
Yeah.
right? Saying...
She'd know it was you. It'd have egg stains on it. It'd be spelt wrong.
No, but...
And you'd
you
sign
know,
it Carl,
I wrote
crossed
to,
out Babushka.
I wrote to her... I won't pick Babushka. I mean, that's a ridiculous name. That wouldn't have worked anyway. You just get a vision in your head of... I wouldn't have answered a letter from someone called Babushka.
It's not the point. If Kate Bush is listening, please call in. I mean, that would be great. Forget Helmut. No, Helmut, you keep trying. A fat German. We want Kate Bush and a fat German.
What I mean is, though...
Now, wait a minute. What worries me is he didn't answer the last phone call. What if Kate Bush does phone it? Well,
if anyone knows Kate Bush, give her a call now. She's probably not listening. She's probably doing yoga or something, I imagine, or making a lentil soup, or maybe just like repotting some plants, right? Or practicing piano, right? But if anyone knows Kate Bush, got a number, call her up now, say, tune into XFM, there's a little bald mank fella wants to talk to you about Babushka, right?
No, but how much...
But Helmut, don't worry, you'll get your chance. The phones are going. That could be Kate Bush.
Don't worry about it.
That could be Kate Bush.
I know for a fact it isn't.
Okay, answer it. Half-Light by Athlete on XFM 104.9. Ricky Carl.
Right.
2 o'clock. Let's get Rockbusters rolling.
I should just, if people aren't familiar with Rockbusters, then, someone has actually sent in one of their own to test Carl. They've used, I think, the same principle that Carl has, which is, you know, utterly random.
Yeah.
As you said before, you know, really just try and think of something that he might be thinking of.
Sure.
So, I'm gonna, I mean, she's done it quite coherently, but I'm wondering if I should sort of say it more as Carl might say it, you know, just slightly less...
More different every time.
Yeah, slightly less coherent. So, Carl, this is one for you, alright?
Go on.
You know, it's Sunday morning. You know, I'm just... You know, I'm in bed, but I don't sleep. You know, but, like, Hollyoaks is on, the omnibus, I'm just watching that, you know. I go and make a lovely cup of tea, you know, in the bed with Suzanne, aren't I, having a cup of tea.
What's going on there?
Just watching the telly and that, but hang on. I haven't got anything to dunk in me, in my tea. I haven't got anything to dunk in my tea, have I? You know what I mean? I haven't got anything to dunk in there, and I'm just having, you know... What am I doing?
Is it LB?
It's LR. So... have a think about that one, Carl.
I think I know it.
Yeah?
Do you?
Go for it.
Go on.
Is it Lionel Richie?
It is Lionel
Sort
Richie. What's your logic?
Sort of Lionel, and it's like...
No rich tea. No rich tea.
Yeah.
No biscuits, no rich tea. Lion, no rich tea.
I think
Lionel Rich tea. Lionel Richie. It works. It's just as coherent as one of yours. What's that?
We've done one a little bit like it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I cannot believe you got it.
That's a toaster.
I cannot believe you got it.
I might not have got it without the initials, but that's why we chucked them in, just to help you along.
So what have you got for us this
so
week?
we've got 3 of them.
Oh, by the way, don't bother calling in Kate Bush, because Carl doesn't want to answer the phones. He says Kate Bush is not going to call, so it's all going to be nutters, so we apologise. He's got one thing to do. He didn't even get the sound right, because someone was complaining about they couldn't hear Steve. He's got to do Monkey News, which is always twaddle, and he won't even answer the phones now, so I don't know why he gets paid. He takes off Mondays, because he works Saturdays. He gets paid for Saturdays. He takes...
Not off Mondays anymore.
And he moans.
Not off Mondays.
Wow.
Right,
What have you got for us?
Right then, the first one. There's a vehicle that sells kebabs. Right? There's a vehicle that sells kebabs. Initial D. Right? D.
Great.
Right? Have you worked that one out?
Of course I haven't.
Right, the second one. You're asked if you want that bit of the egg.
You what?
You're asked if you want that bit of the egg. You think about it, but we sort of decide against it.
And again?
What's going on there? You're asked if you want that bit of the egg. You think about it, but you go, nah, I go against it. Right?
I've got it. Is it initials W Y O?
Yeah.
Got it.
Right, so...
Okay.
That one works.
Right.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
And the last one, I don't
think this burger will catch on.
Yeah, and the letter there is M. So you just text or email in with the answers and win some stuff. What have we got?
We've got some prizes. We've got another box set of the League of Gentlemen.
This is instant gratification, but you go into a draw for something bigger. So what have we got today?
Yeah, well, today, this is what you're taking home today. You've got the League of Gentlemen, the complete collection on DVD. That's worth having, definitely. We've got Catterick, which is the current Vic and Bob show on BBC Two, which is good. The Aviator, the award-winning Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese biopic, and once again, Ladder 49.
We're giving that away again, are we?
Yeah. Apparently we got.
Can we get a job like those?
We got loads of them. We got boxes of them, stacks of them. Yeah.
Excellent. So
email in if you just want a copy of Ladder 49. I'm sure we could dig one out for you.
yeah. Or phone in, because Carl does not answer the phones.
Right.
And remember, the winner goes forward into the chance to win the big prizes, the signed Homer drawing, the signed Nigel Tufnell poster, and you go to rickygervais.com and see Matt Groening actually drawing that to verify it. Bet Lloyd Cole won't. Lloyd Cole, Impossible Girl, on XFM 104.9. Wow.
Rick, I'm just reading an email we've had, and it is indeed true. Scores of naked cyclists will be wheeling around London today in a mass protest against oil dependency. The World Naked Bike Ride will see the arresting sight of up to 200 daring riders bearing all in their cycle past some of the capital's most famous landmarks.
Have they got to wear an helmet? Are they against wearing a helmet?
Well, I think they're trying to make a statement, I would imagine, I don't know.
Well, they don't have to wear a helmet. It's not law to wear a helmet on a bike, is it? It's for your own safety. It's sensible, you're right, yeah.
Well, it's also sensible to just pop some pants on. Pop some pants on.
Are you going to be popping down there and cheering them on?
I'm not going anywhere near it. What are they going against? What's the problem that's going on?
Oil dependency. I think, generally we're consuming too much oil, aren't we, in the world, and it's going to run out.
Talking of campaigns and things and that, did you see Sir Bob on Jonathan Ross last night?
Sir Bob Geldof.
Sir Bob Geldof.
Yeah.
Are you going to walk to Edinburgh or sail to France, Carl? What do you think of all this? The G8?
I think it's good that, he's doing some stuff for the world and what have you, but I probably won't bother.
No?
Having a walk.
What do you make of all this campaigning? He's dedicated his life to this now, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I was watching him last night, and I respect the man. I mean, he used to work here, didn't he? Did some shows and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's alright that he can do it, but...
I assume that's not why you respect him. I assume you respect him because he's trying to save a nation, as opposed to used to work in XFM for a while.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's good that he's given up a lot of his time to, try and save the world and that, but... there's a bit of me that's kind of like, is he wasting his time a bit? You know what I mean? Well, he tried it before, and
No, wait. What he's trying to say is that the G8 are I think the 7 most wealthy nations in the world, and Russia, and they get together and they can wipe out the third world debt. I.e., they owe us billions and billions of pounds. They can't afford to pay it back. So he's going to say let's wipe the slate clean and pledge, I think, a lot more aid and stuff to them, isn't it?
but
Scores of naked cyclists will be wheeling around. Right, what's you thinking?
No, I just mean...
I knew I had a little diamond in the rough here. I mean, obviously, I admit, I brought this up because I really wanted to know what Carl thought of it.
Sure.
Yeah, I had ulterior motives. It wasn't just for awareness, for the very worthy cause. It was because I know. Look at him looking at me. Look at him, he looks at me like a cat. Honestly, it's like there's nothing behind those eyes. Right, what do you mean?
They're just going to run up the debt again, you think?
Well, what I mean is, right, when I was a kid, right, and I wanted to go to the arcade, I'd borrow £1 off me man and what have you, but I'd have a go on a pinball machine or whatever, game on a fruity, and then go back, and she'd go, can I have some more money? And she goes, I gave you £1 before. And I go, I know, but I'm on holiday, and she goes, there you go then. And then I go off and do the same thing. I didn't go, no, I wasted the last one, I'm going to pop this in the bank.
Right.
So you think that's what's going to happen with...
That's a nice metaphor. So what do you think happening there? That the Africans are blowing it down the arcade. Instead of putting it towards a fishing rod, they're blowing it down the arcade. I'm trying to win a watch. Look, I've got 100 goals. I think this thing is dodgy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to win a fluffy toy.
That's what Bob said, you're never going to get the Snoopy.
You're never going to get the Snoopy.
It's always going to fall out of the little claw
It's
before it
rigged.
gets to
The
the top.
claw is not strong enough.
Yeah.
Do not waste it. No, Midge.
Midge, you have to write a song.
Write another song, mate. They've blown it down the arcade. Brilliant.
So that's your genuine logic, is it?
Well, I just don't know, I just think it's a...
Could I just say that will never happen?
No.
Could I just say to London...
Yeah.
And anyone listening on
Sleep
Saturday...
easy.
Yeah, don't worry. Carl is not going to be put in charge of G8. It's not going to be him, Blair. Chirac.
That would be
Brilliant.
a joy if it were.
That would be amazing.
But anyway, so let's assume in some alternate universe you are in charge.
What would you do?
Monkeys, obviously, it's like Planet of the Apes. What are you going to do? You're the only person with opposable thumbs. What's your solution?
We've done a lot of it, haven't we? We've sent, money out there. We've sent them clothes and that.
Yeah.
I
mean, have you?
It's gone.
You say we. Have you sent...
I've done loads for charity.
Go on.
No, loads. I've done loads of stuff.
Go on. For what?
Oh, I give stuff to Oxfam.
Yeah. What stuff you don't want anymore?
Yeah, junk, you mean?
Well, yeah, but it'll be alright for them. I mean, I said to you the other day, like, when they collect clothes for over there, I don't know, none of my stuff's gonna fit them well. I do loads of charities, I do loads of things like,
Go on.
I pay for tools, I do that thing, a monthly payment of £5, paying for, toolbox and that for someone out there. I help old people, which I'm gonna stop, to be honest.
Why?
Because, do you know this thing I do, Steve, right?
No.
This is a £5 a month as well, right? I got stopped in Leicester Square one day. He said, there's a little old woman somewhere. She's cold. Are you going to help her out? So I was like, why me? Right? So anyway, they said it's easier if people look after one old woman, right? So
why me?
I've signed up to look after this old woman called, I don't know, call her name June or whatever. It doesn't matter. So
it does to her, but go on.
So anyway, I'm paying this £5 a month, and the first £5, first time I paid it, I got this thing in the post, right? And it had, thanks a lot, Carl. You're looking after June. Here she is, here's a little picture of her, and she's sat there, what have you. Every £5 you pay, it'll be cheering her up, and, look after her, pay for her food and what have you. So, for a bit, you feel good, don't you? And you think, well, I've done my bit for the world. Anyway, 2 months later, get another package, right? Picture of June in there again. She's got a tan. So he's saying you're paying to keep her warm. No, they meant a week in Mallorca or whatever. And this is what I mean. People because they can get away with it.
I don't know where to start.
That isn't having a go though.
What do you think? So what do you think? You think they're going? Don't bother getting a job or anything. Go off a bit, Go off a bit. It's June.
I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult.
So you think Sir Bob should just wash his hands of the whole affair? You think it's a complete waste of time? Is that what you're saying? That you should just leave them to it? Just leave them to it, let them sink ever more into debt, ever more into hunger. You just think that should just carry on?
Do you know what I think he's saying? I think, now, I'm not the words we gave them. They've got to learn a lesson. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Is that what you're thinking?
No.
What are you thinking?
I'm not thinking anything like that. All I was thinking is about this gig, it might have been better to do it, like, rather than, I don't know, ruining a grass field in Edinburgh and that, do it out in Africa, right? Get people out there, get the tourists up, do you know what I mean? Get a load of people out there. They've got loads
I don't reckon he's going to get people to walk to Edinburgh. I very much doubt people are going to fly to Addis Ababa to see Coldplay.
Cheap flights and what have you.
Right.
Hot dog stands and that, locals will love that, right? Job done.
Brilliant. Let's put him in charge.
Yeah, just for one day.
Let's put him in charge of Live Aid. If Bob Geldof is listening, I know, you respect him because he used to work on XFM.
No, but
if Bob, if you're listening, please, I would love, oh my God, a conversation, Bob Geldof talking to, forget Kate Bush, forget
That would be amazing.
Can Bob please call in and speak to Carl? No calling. Right, get on the phone.
What's the phone number?
Can't we talk to him next week?
He might be busy next week.
No,
he's
he
got
won't.
stuff to organise.
You won't, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We can talk to us next week. Alright, I'm not gonna I'll go through the phones, it's mental.
Play a record.
Alright, what we're having? Bit of Killers?
Yeah. The Killers, somebody told me on XFM 104.9. Tell you what, talking of starving, I went to what is meant to be the best restaurant in the world on
Oh yeah.
Wednesday, yeah.
Sure. You must be famished.
Well, Jonathan Ross booked a table there. It came out, I think he's been trying to get there for a while, and I think there's a waiting list and everything, right? And
Well, you can't be you're walking straight in.
He's walked straight in with that, yeah. Me and Jane went along with him and Jane to the Fat Duck in Bray. It was voted the best, and it was incredible. I mean, it's across from the restaurant and sort of Barnum. They, you know, just incredible food. But all the way there, I'm thinking, well, I can't eat stuff in normal restaurants. I don't eat red meat. I'm squeamish about things like seafood, anything that's got too many legs, or was a crustacean once, or feeds on worms. I knew that one of their signature dishes was snail porridge, so I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to eat anything here. So I was thinking I had something to eat before I went, and I was thinking they better not have mucked around the bread, right? Got there, beautiful, and it was really quite fantastic, and I let them know straight away that I was a Philistine, and they really accommodated me. You know, I didn't have the snail porridge. They put mushrooms in my snail porridge, which is more of a risotto, and there's tasting menus and that, and it was really fantastic. But Jonathan, on the way there, he actually phoned me and said, "Why are we taking you to this restaurant?"
Good point. Very good point.
They know, even if I go around there, they cook me sausage and mash.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean?
Well, you have the palate of one of those kids from the Jamie Oliver school dinners programme. They've got the lovely Jamie Oliver cooked, you know, kind of, ratatouille, but they're going for the sort of chicken Twizzlers.
Well, there's nothing wrong with chicken. I love chicken. I like the chicken I can eat. I'm squeamish about red meats. There's nothing you know, it's a mixture of, it's not morals. There's only one thing I don't eat morally, that's veal. But the other thing else is just like, if it's got eyes and legs and things sticking out of it, or there's
But it hasn't got eyes and legs things sticking out of it. What are you talking about? I mean, it just infuriates me. I actually got to a point now where I refuse to eat out with Ricky. Because I can't, it just sucks the life out of me. It actually makes me depressed. I can't enjoy the experience. If you go to an awards do, they bring out lovely food, you know, 3 courses, and you're whinging. You're always
salmon,
whinging.
which is hardly cooked, followed by lamb.
Lovely.
Oh.
And you you whinge, you complain, you look at Jane like a little boy who's like, "Oh no, why have you brought me here?" You are just, it was, and I tell you, and I put it at you know, I don't want to, you know, badmouth people, but I suspect it's your family, I suspect it was your upbringing, I imagine that if I came to your house, you know, late 60s, early 70s, came round to your place in Reading, it would have just been the smell of chip fat.
Always
just
on.
everywhere.
Chip fat
Pervading,
fire was
just
on.
one of those chip fat fires that's just, yeah, like you say, constantly, 24 hours a
But I
day,
used to eat
just
things.
bubbling away.
I used to eat beef and pork and that, and I used to have to, eventually, when I was getting sort of squeamish and getting older, I'd make her burn it so much that it was just like chewing on a piece of leather anyway, where I couldn't stand the sight of blood or something.
A salad in your house would have been
I'll tell you what
a
a salad
pickled
is.
onion and a packet of crisps.
No, a salad in my house, right, was when it was summer, we were out in the garden, lovely salad, grated cheese, grated egg, 2 bits of beetroot with your leaf, a pickled onion, and a packet of crisps. And that was a salad. But
Yeah. Now, is that? Do you agree that that is probably the reason why you've got this palate? And I don't even. It's not even a palate. That's too.
Because I say I used to eat beef and
But what
pork.
do you mean squeamish? I don't understand what you mean. Squeamish.
If I suddenly
fish,
think
it's
about
cooked.
it, I can eat like, you know, like, it has to be blasted, it has to be unrecognised to be an animal. You know what I mean? I mustn't see a bit of pink or a bit of fat.
So
or
if we were in biblical times,
Yeah.
and you're there, and Jesus Christ has just fed 40,000 with some fishes and some loaves, you'd be going, I'm not into the fish, JC.
I say take the head off, really cook it, take the skin off. I can see a bit of spine.
And unless,
Why leave
unless
in?
that bread is mighty white, I'm not interested.
No. Yeah, but the thing is, what he hasn't said is, well, he gets frustrated because we have to go from restaurant to restaurant for something I can eat. But the reason we've only got about 3 restaurants to choose from are that because he doesn't want to spend more than a £5 at lunchtime.
At lunchtime, if I was going out of an evening, you'd spend a decent amount of wallop. But lunchtime,
Would
why
ya?
am I you'd be happy to spend 20 quid on lunch. Imagine that every single day. There's no one out there who's eating lunch 20 quid a day on lunch. It's crazy. You don't need that much food at lunchtime because I know what happens. You go in curry for lunch, you're asleep by 1:30. We're trying to work, we're trying to write TV shows, and you're dozing off like one of those giant anacondas that's just eating a sheep and it's slowly digesting it. It takes like 3 weeks.
He doesn't eat Carl, he does not like the spare. He'll walk a mile out of his way to get a sandwich.
Having an argument over that 50p that time. I don't want to bring it back up again.
Here's
but
the situation, Carl. I lent you 50p, and you decided you weren't going to pay me back. It should be to my discretion if I say, don't worry about it, Carl. You should offer me the 50p, go, there's that 50p I owe you, and I'll go, don't worry about it, Carl. But you didn't even do that.
No, it's the way that you were, like...
I said, where's my 50p? You went, oh, you don't need that. That's not your decision to
I
have.
didn't say that. I said, I don't think I've got it at the moment, or whatever. And he's
Rubbish.
going through my pockets and that.
Rubbish.
50p. Ridiculous.
You've just given him a keg of beer for free, hadn't you?
Well, let's not go over it again. I mean,
I just think value for money is important. Like, now, okay, so for instance, in the morning, I have to get the tube, but you can get a travel card, zones 1 and 2, right? It's about £4.70, I think. But before 9:30, it's about £6.50. When the clock, literally on the clock ticks over to 9:30, it's £4.70, right? Now, sometimes I'll get there, it'll be about 9:20. Now, you'd be saying to me, oh, just spend it, and I'm thinking, I've got 10 minutes. I'll perhaps read the paper, wait for it to click over to 9:30, and then I can get a cheaper ticket. Now, surely that makes sense. Surely that's logic. Don't I mean, if you were in that situation, Rick, if you were there, right, and you had, let's say you had 3 minutes to wait before 9:30, what would you do? Would you stand there and wait?
No, because waiting to me is worse than anything.
It's madness. It's madness.
I can't stand queuing, I can't stand... No, I'd pay, yeah.
How long would it have to be before you'd wait?
I
If there was
mean,
like a minute on the clock to go, would you wait?
if they literally said, if you wait 30 seconds, it's... I go, alright.
Well, that is the case. That literally
Yeah,
is the case.
okay, but not 10 minutes, no.
What
Not
about you,
worth it.
Carl?
I'd feel if it was 30 seconds, I'd feel flash going, I'd spend £3. But if it was like a couple of minutes, I'd go, oh, it doesn't matter. I just wouldn't.
Madness.
Yeah,
Think about how that tots up over the years.
amazing. Carl,
What about you,
do
Carl?
think?
Would you do it?
it depends, doesn't it, what your job is and that. If you're a doctor, save someone, whatever, you can't say, oh, just give it 10 minutes. Depends. Depends on the situation, depends. Most of the time I've got to get in work early. I can't be hanging around till half
But you don't
9.
know, do you? I've
I've got
called him when I
stuff to
was
do.
filming. He was I've seen him do one day, right? I've seen him for one whole day. He went away. He fell asleep at 7:45 in the bath because he was knackered. So you know, he has 5 weeks holiday a year. He's taking the piss. Feeder, pushing the senses. Quite a food-related sort of show, isn't it?
It is.
Feeder.
Thinking of gluttony, did you see in, I think it was Heat magazine, it was former Pop Idol winner Michelle McManus.
Oh, yeah.
She's lost a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, she's
And,
lost 5 stone, hasn't she?
Pleased to see that the headline was, I used to eat 12 packets of Doritos a night. At night. 12 packets of Doritos. I just like the idea that you've got to 11 packets, and you're thinking, oh,
One more will
it's
do
a
it.
bit peckish.
One more will do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I should have-
Unbelievable. But As you know, they've gleaned off the web. And apparently, Britain's fattest family have shed 23 stone. One of
them died.
Between the 5 of them, oh come on. Between the 5 of them, the Phillips family from Worcester weighed more than 100 stone.
Jesus. Well, how many are there, though?
They spent 5 of them, and they spent £300 a week on food. An evening meal consisted of an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet and another ice cream stop at McDonald's. The mum, she was generally happy, like Carl is, but she said she used to get upset when she couldn't buy clothes for her kids because the shops didn't stock anything above XXXXXL. It says here, it says Mitchell, 13, was the heaviest of the 3, weighing 27 stone. By the age of 4, he was Britain's fattest toddler, weighing 10 stone.
Is that competition still going?
He broke 5 bikes. He broke 5 bikes by buckling the wheels.
Oh, that's
I know you're always kind of
it?
fat kids, Carl.
Chasing an ice cream van.
Yeah.
But the bike just fell apart.
Yeah. Who
Wow.
knows? Maybe now he's on that nude bike ride, you know, because he's lost some weight.
Oh, that would be painful, wouldn't it? Well, I've got another food-related item here. Now, Carl, I got a little email via my agent, sent from someone here, okay, sent from someone at XFM, okay, and I won't say it was, she just said, I thought this might be good for Ricky to use on Saturday, and obviously what happened is, Suzanne has sent you an email in the week, it was Wednesday, and you've returned it, but I think you've returned it to the wrong email address. You returned it to someone here, who of course immediately forwarded it to my agent for ridicule on the show. Don't panic, it's nothing that bad, okay? It's an email from Suzanne talking about your tea that night. Was Suzanne out on Wednesday night?
Was the, an England game or something?
Yeah. So you were alone, you were home alone, were you, Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your meal? Was it a quiche?
Go on.
Right. So Carl, take the quiche and put it on the baking tray. Cook for 30 minutes on 190. Take lettuce and put on plate. Take 3 tomatoes, wash and chop into quarters. Place on lettuce. Take an avocado, chop in half. Remove the stone. Peel skin and slice. Place on salad. Put salt and pepper on, and a dribble of olive and balsamic vinegar dressing. Right? In brackets, small bottle behind the cafetiere. Right, in case he's reaching for bleach.
Yeah.
That's it. Trying to put everything else away. Right? Then sprinkle a smidge of parmesan on top. Remove quiche from oven, cut into quarters, and put on plate. Eat.
Oh, wow. Does she have to do that every single time? She's like...
No, it's just that I'm not that good at cooking, right? And to be honest, that was a lot of hard work. I didn't bother warming it up. Why? Too much messing about.
He didn't even do that with instructions. It was too much.
But yeah, I'm not that good at cooking. And
That's not cooking though, is it, Carl? That's
heating up a
slicing.
quiche. That's cooking it is making the quiche.
Yeah, but I'm just.
Could you have figured that out if she had left that note for you?
Why did she have to tell you what the olive oil